No warm-ups here, no warm-ups.
There's no warm-ups here.
Hi, what's your reaction to the trial today?
Very surprised, stunned, I think. We did not expect the judge to impose a sentence of that length.
Rudy has apologized to the New York judge, saying wine became my life and I lost myself in it. An obsession that will be hard to pursue from behind the bar.
Dead bodies from last time. That's the truth. We're very careful. Dead bodies last time.
The harm that was actually done in this case does not justify the kind of sentence that was handed out. It just doesn't.
But he didn't profit from the crime as much as others. And the people who profited the most from his crime are living large and drinking great wine, and they're not in jail.
Others have suggested that there are additional people that should be prosecuted. But to bring a criminal prosecution, it's not enough to say that they were negligent. You have to prove they intended to defraud someone by lying to them or making misrepresentations.
It's kind of like a game of musical chairs, and Rudy was the last one standing when the music stopped.
It is not the real end of the fakers. If I go on investigating, I will find more people doing this. But I'm gonna stop. I want to focus again on my job to produce authentic wines.
Because you're rotten.
I don't know. Took you a while. You fell down too, just not.
Nous sommes réunis ce soir pour jouer la finale d'une symphonie dont j'ai l'honneur d'être le chef d'orchestre. Mais un chef d'orchestre, il est rien sans les musiciens. Chacun d'entre vous a coupé l'équivalent de une bouteille. Merci pour votre patience, votre travail, votre livre. Nous avons joué ensemble une musique harmonieuse et raffinée. 1, 2, la 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 la.
Well, let's do this.
With our legs? Let's do it.
I've got a fact.
This is the largest wine seizure the U.S. Marshals have ever handled. Behind you, we have over 500 bottles that have been deemed counterfeit. From Rudy Trevione's private collection.
Oh, there's another box coming.
I have no doubt that it's going to take years or decades or maybe never to fully filter out all of Rudy.
Her name was Funeral.
It's impossible to identify every single person who has one of those bottles.
You know, more scrupulous collectors have just bitten the bullet and they've written off a bunch of stuff. John Cabon, to his credit, has you know, anything questionable he has taken back. He's refunded a lot of people's money. But I think a lot of people probably don't want to make themselves full of takes, and so they're just, it's still out there.
For the best of Chile and Argentina, and they're at 160.
They'll circulate.
If you buy this, you will almost certainly get laid. All right? You're going to start me, sir, but at what price? $10,000.
I don't look at wine catalogs anymore. I throw them in the wastebasket.
$200,000.
This whole industry has a pomp and circumstance to it. You're either a believer or an apostate.
Where is this bitch at? I want to kill her.
Cheers, guys.
I'm going to waste my money real quick.
What's beer?
Like, dare you say the emperor has no clothes? It's just liquid, it's wine, but it's become a commodity. Some of the biggest CEOs of corporate America were duped by this guy. The moral to this story, in my opinion, is that when you leave things unregulated, you allow the wolves to come in and game the system. And this system had been gamed.
When I first discovered this case of wine that he sold me was fake, I was very hurt. And I felt like a fool, too. I felt foolish. But the number of amazing experiences I had with him far outweighed anything. So I forgave, you know? I forgave.
When I think about him, and I think about him quite a bit, I just cannot put two and two together. I just can't, because it's just like talking about black and white. I have not tried, but I would love to see him. One day, I hope. And I'll just tell him, what was this all about?
S&P 500 closed at all-time high.
If I told you that you could turn your love of wine into an investment return?
We're seeing prices go up higher than they've ever been.
Should you forget gold and invest in vino?
I mean, the bottom line is, if you want to own a fine and rare wine collection, the time to buy is right now.
Did you sell 1961 Chateau?
I can taste the Chardonnay like palate.
Did you sell one or more 1961 Chateau Lafleur Magnums?
I thought it was a little forward.
Who inspected these bottles?
I've got a elderflower perfume. It's juicy, bright and leafy. This is the whole power of suggestion thing, right?
Did you have any reason to suspect that the one was
Take a break.
Wine is alive. It's not a beverage. It's not a tool. It's not paper, plate, or car. It's alive. Vous voyez comme les cèpes de vigne sont tout tordus, tortueux. C'est assez original. C'est un type de taille en plus qui ne se fait pratiquement plus. On appelait ça la taille en gobelet. Les branches ont poussé, puis ça fait un peu des statues. C'est assez fantasmagorique, surtout à cette époque où il y a du brouillard. Mais c'est aussi une partie de notre histoire. I am Laurent Ponceau, vigneron, drinker. I was born up at a cellar in this village in Saint-Denis. He's owned this wine since 1872. You feel here what I call the spirit of the vine.
You got this. I believe it.
As soon as I started to breathe, to smell of wine, I can say I have some blood in me, some wine in my blood. The spirit of Burgundy wine is unique, with the name on the label representing not only a wine, but a culture and history. What people are seeing, feeling behind the wine has no price.
$100, bidder, 105. Lot 982, Romanate Comté, 72 bottles, $9,500, $10,000 bid now for these at 10. At $10,000, give me a lot. At $10,000 down for 10,000. 11,000 these now for 11. Give it 12. 11,000. 11,000.
I guess the auction scene really started in the 90s, in the .com. Everybody was making money. They developed this culture of very wealthy collectors gathering at these auctions to see and be seen, to be seen bidding at the prices started to be best for them.
9,500 last call, 5,500 pass then, and 5,500.
I started to get these emails. It was strange. I couldn't really figure out where they were coming from. They described these emails where these guys, very wealthy collectors, were drinking like 1945 really, really expensive wine. I eventually learned that these emails came at the auction house after Merrill Fund.
1990 Romanate Conti.
Kmot's notes are very colorful. He had these unusual descriptors, trying to make the whole tasting note more interesting, developing metaphors. This culture kind of reached its apogee under the auspices of Agricultural Conde. This group called the Angry Men. All of them had nicknames like Mr. Angry and Big Boy, Hollywood Jeff.
Oh, it's so deep.
That's fine. Take this up.
We missed the tequila party last night, but you know, it was worth it, yeah.
I drank a lot of that 1907 Madeira last night.
Oh my god, with the fucking counters, bro!
Yeah, it was coconut, it was nutmeg, espresso.
Yeah, it was really exciting, wasn't it?
There's so much acidity. It can be incredible, but it's more hit or miss vintage than
88 has a huge amount of acidity.
No, it's absolutely 96 though is the conversion value. For anyone out there, buy 96 shit. All day. Can't afford that, buy 02. Can't afford that, drink fucking beer.
When it's morphin' time.
The best way to taste high-end wines is because there's power in numbers. Wines are really, really expensive. And so our group meet 8 times a year. Each time one member hosts
They're
and does
not
the wines.
even good, but when it's morphin' time, it's
Where the Angry Man name came from is you get invited to a wine dinner and you bring a really nice, great wine. And everybody else brings shit wine, bad wine. And so you get very angry. Men who didn't want to be angry anymore. Everybody had to bring it, you know, you had to really bring it. My entry into Burgundy was Rudy Kerniwan. There was an angry man that Rudy had invited me to. And that's where I met Rudy was so over the top, crazy. That was just breaking it out with like 100, 200 gram worth of wine. It was pretty extraordinary.
What these guys actually had, it's what Americans call fuck you. Well, I got a $3 million bonus. I'm gonna take $1 million of that and blow it. And that's their fucking money. They're gonna do whatever they want. They don't care. There's no consequences.
You're number one.
And it's a kind of most human beings.
Uh-oh, here she comes.
The fine wine world, it's really mostly men. Especially when I was younger. I'd walk into the tastings and everybody would immediately ask, you know, whose date I was. But I had no question. I ran a major auction house. I bought like $50,000 worth of champagne in the last auction. One of my clients, his daughter's getting married. It was 2000 or early 2001. We were doing auctions and I started being aware of this kind of, you know, skinny, geeky, young guy that liked wine.
Alright, we open this. We got a run here. These are the Jade Lotus ones.
At the time, he was somebody that was bidding on Paulmeyer Merlot. Paulmeyer Merlot sticks out in my mind with Rudy. You know, high quality wine, but, you know, it's got 1 0, not 4 zeros.
$16, $17, $1,800.
It's been out for, I think, almost 3 years, babe.
$1,800, $1,800 bid at 18.
What was really strange was 18 months later, he reached out to me on the telephone and said that he wanted to meet with me because he wanted to be a player in the auction scene, which I found kind of odd because he had just been a geeky kid drinking California Merlot.
Hey, what's up? How you doing? Very well. Good, good, good. I brought some wines for us to drink. Can you help me?
His breadth of knowledge seemed to be pretty extraordinary. He actually taught me, you know, almost everything I know.
He was really talked about it.
Ciao, bello. Come stai?
He had this mysterious background. Where did he come from?
Part of what created his mythology was he had an extraordinary, or has an extraordinary palate. The best palate of anyone I've ever had in my entire life. Any wine, from California to France, any type of wine, any vintage. Rudy was extremely, insanely, unbelievably correct.
The art of blind tasting, it comes naturally, but you have to make an effort. You know, you really have to work at it. You taste wine blind, you identify the wine, and, you know, that's the badge of honor for a sommelier. Do a little smell and just see if it's anything unusual with the palate, and then it kind of just tingles off senses to your brain. And then you look through your Rolodex in your mind of all these different wines you've tasted. And I'm thinking, I'm like, what could this be?
Oh, I don't think it's been a year since I baked. I think a recent one was 3 to 5.
I think a wine palate is very similar to athletic ability.